So the trailer for the next set of Pokemon games in 2021 has been released, and I just thought I'd give my take on it because this time around I might end up actually getting them. So I'm just gonna dive right into the remakes and my first impression of the trailer. Finally, finally, after so many years of begging, asking, hoping, and praying, they have decided to remake or make another Sinnoh game. They decided to do Diamond and Pearl once again and come back to that brilliant adventure that we all loved so much back from 2007, or more like 2006, I think it was 2006, 2007 with a Diamond and Pearl and then Platinum. But so the trailer opens up and you see the game, and the big thing everyone's talking about, and I have pretty much the same opinion as everyone else on what we're seeing here. We got chibis again. All right. Now, before I make a huge complaint about this and explain why I have a problem with it, I do want to say that on the list of complaints I have about Pokemon games in the recent decade, this is on the lower tier of complaints. It doesn't even bother me that much. I think from seeing this trailer, I am happy. I am hopeful after seeing this trailer because I'm thinking, yes, they're finally remaking Sinnoh. We're finally getting something we actually asked them to do after so long. This is definitely a step forward that they're remaking Sinnoh, that they're making Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, even though I think the names could have been better with what was it, Temporal Diamond and Celestial Pearl, which is what was like a fan made title that somebody came up with a long time ago. I still think that sounds cooler than Brilliant and Shining. It's Brilliant and Shining seem kind of dumbed down, but nonetheless, it is a step forward. And then immediately, what you see in the trailer is something I don't think anybody really wanted to see. And I know there's a set of the fan base who's like, I'm okay with this. I think it's great. And the thing is like, that's okay for them to that's okay. I mean, that's opinion's totally fine. For some people it's not a deal breaker, and for me it's not that bad of a thing either. I think out of the whole trailer, that's just it for me. That's just the biggest thing I had to complain about, because I really don't have to complain about them making a Sinnoh remake. I think they should have done it years ago, but now that they're finally doing it, that's just the biggest thing on my mind and everyone's mind is, why are we going back to chibis? Why are we going back to these 2 head tall tiny little animations? And so here's what's going on. When they remade Ruby and Sapphire, it was, you remember Ruby and Sapphire? They were tiny little pixelated. Everything was pixelated. The battles, the animations didn't move. It was an old game. It was a great old game that you played on the Game Boy. Back when we were all little babies, and it's 10 years later, so it's from like 2004 to 2014, I think, is when they finally remade the Hoenn region, and I didn't think that was too bad of a time. I think that might have been a little long of a wait. 10 years for a remake of a Pokemon game, as opposed to just making newer versions with new Pokemon over and over and over. I think we all were getting a little tired of them adding more and more Pokemon and not going back and flourishing out the old games that we love so much. So they finally made Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. This is a 10-year difference, and we got virtually, from our perspective, a 10-year difference in upgrades. All right, it wasn't chibis anymore. It wasn't tiny little pixelated objects. We got like I don't know exactly the height percentage. They weren't like real life animations, and we don't need them to be real life animations. It's a video game. But, we got a more realistic scale to look at when we were running through the open world. The open world got bigger, it got wider. It wasn't just, you can go up and then left and right and down. You can move diagonally. You could move around real nice. It everything looked better. And then the battles, they upgraded the animations of the battles, and they did that since X and Y. So even before that, in X and Y, they had gotten rid of the chibis. They were moving on from it. It was this great, it's 10 some years later, over 10 years later from the first Pokemon game, from when it was just pixels. Now we're moving on to, a better looking model when we traverse the open world. You know, and you also at that time you have Mega Evolution, and you have a bunch of new mechanics and like that. You got new moves and whatnot. I mean, everything's basically it was one big upgrade, and it looked really nice. That was a 10-year difference between those games. Now, Diamond and Pearl came out like 2006, and it's 2021 now. All right. So that's what if it's coming out later this year, 2021. That's what, like I think 14, 15-year difference. 14 to 15-year difference in this remake. So like 1.5 times like the 10-year difference that we had from Ruby and Sapphire to Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. You have more of a 14 to 15-year difference between these remakes. All right, and they're calling them remakes. And I've heard other people say it before, and I'll say it too. It's almost as if they're just porting the game over. We haven't seen anything new from the trailers yet. The trailer's pretty short. You don't see much. It looks like we're getting virtually the same story from what we see so far. And that's not the worst thing ever. What I at least wanted. I mean, like, there's a whole list of wishes that I'd had that I wish they do, but what would be nice at least is if they just made a version of Diamond and Pearl with the updated graphics of, let's say, Sun and Moon, like Sun and Moon style graphics in Diamond and Pearl Sinnoh. Because I'm going back and I'm replaying Sinnoh now just from nostalgia, and I'm like, this is great, this is so fun. I just wish I had a version that was a little more up to date, where the animations moved in the battles and whatnot, and all that fancy stuff. The moves look better, Mega Evolutions. Who doesn't like Mega Evolution? Mega Evolution is just so fun, such a great concept. I wasn't into it at first, and then immediately I played the game, and I was like, oh yeah, this is dope. This is super cool. So, that's what I at least wanted, and we're not really quite getting that, from what we're seeing, because we're going back to chibi animations, and we were done with the chibi animations in like 2012 or 2013 when the X and Y came out. We were done with it. We were moving on. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's like, why take that step back for a game we've been asking for so long? Why wouldn't you put, everything you got into this remake that your fans have been asking for so long? Why are you taking that step back? Like, the thing is, if it had been like Sun and Moon / Galar kind of like graphics in the open world, I guarantee you there'd be nobody saying, hey, what happened to the chibi graphics? We want the chibi graphics back. We want the tiny little animations and the smaller worlds. What happened to that? There would be nobody saying that because we already moved past it, all right? And now that it is there, people are saying, oh, I kind of like it. And you know what? That's okay to not complain about it. That's totally fine. But it's like, you wouldn't have said that if they had made it the other way, So immediately another thing that kind of bothers me about watching the trailer is seeing the battle animation. Now this is solely, and I understand, just such a small thing that bothers me, and I don't know why, but like it happened in Galar, and I think also like I don't know. I never played Let's Go. I didn't watch much of it. I knew it wasn't a core game, so I didn't bother much with it. But the animation of the battle is just, it has a weirder, different look as opposed to like Sun and Moon and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. It has kind of this weird Play-Doh-y smooth look to everything. Like the outlines aren't really popping out. The animation looks kind of like it almost just blends in with the background, except like like it's a different color because the Pokemons are moving and they're different colors in the background. It looks like they're kind of just stuck there, and they don't really look super authentic. And I don't know why that is. But the battle animation of the Pokemon just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't look good. It kind of just looks lazy. And I don't know why I think that, but it is that way. And I know a ton of people don't have a problem with it at all, but maybe some people do. I've heard people say before that they don't really like how it looks. And I am just one of those people who doesn't really like how it looks. I wish it looked more like it did in Sun and Moon, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Nearly everything about that remake for me. And then like moving on, like Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon, I really don't have a problem with the game. I didn't like it at first because I didn't really like the region. I didn't really like the Z moves. I thought the Z moves are this weird overtop version, and then they made it getting the Mega Stones in a really weird way, and I didn't really catch up with it at the time. But besides that, I thought everything about the game looked good. Whereas this game, the battle animation, like it does in Galar, just looks weirdly smooth to me. And I don't know why, I just don't like it. So the chibi animations of the open world, weird, ugly. I don't really like it. It's a step back. I know other people are thinking the same exact thing. I don't really get why they did it. It feels really insulting because we've been asking for this remake for so long, and they bring the chibi animations back for like virtually no reason. I don't understand it. But that aside, I'm still glad they are making it overall. They're finally making a Sinnoh remake. I can finally relive that, even if I don't like the graphics, like other people were saying, like you might as well, like if this is gonna be the extent of the graphics, and then the game is gonna be virtually the same as the game you made 14, 15 years ago, just port Diamond and Pearl over to the Switch. I mean, just put it on the eShop or whatever the Nintendo shop is called for just a couple bucks, and just have it be like that, and have people get back into it who have never played it before. Then like half-ass make this game with these graphics that people don't agree with, and then like have like no new mechanics. Now with that aside, another list of things that I'm hoping for are, obviously I think everyone else can concur. We don't want to see Dynamax ever again. Screw that crap. Get it out of there. We don't want it. It's weird. It's dumb. I don't think anybody asked for it. I don't think anybody really liked it over Mega Evolution. And then again, of course, we want to see Mega Evolutions come back. Right? It'd be really cool if we got more Mega Evolutions. It'd be really cool if we got, more stuff to go with the game. But at this point, I think even just asking for decent graphics is, like, hard enough. Asking for them to just make the game that we've been asking for so long instead of creating some new crap that nobody wants to see is just too much to ask from Pokemon nowadays. They used to be such this beloved franchise, and it's just they're just been declining for so long just because they refuse to listen to their fans. I don't understand it, but I do hope that we at least see Mega Evolutions come back. I'm really hoping. If I don't see Mega Evolutions, I'm not gonna cry about it, but I'm gonna be very disappointed. I'm gonna be thinking in my head, are they ever gonna come back? Are they just gonna throw it out the window? Z moves I really don't care about at all. Really, to me, they weren't really that cool of a thing to me. Like, they were cool when you saw them, and then it was cool, but it's like, Pokemon's always been progressing to like a one-hit knockout type of game. Just have speed and attack power and pull off one move. Just sweep everything with your Garchomp and hit a Z move to finish off the last one. And it's just kind of takes the entertainment of the battle out, takes the strategy out of the battle, as opposed to the old battle style when you had to actually use moves like Taunt. You had to use Hypnosis. You had to use Dream Eater. You had to use just a collage of different moves to try and get around your opponent, defeat difficult Pokemon with intriguing, different, complex stats. I feel like it's progressed to just hit and run. Just get into the battle, hit your strongest attack, and then leave and get out. So for me, I'd love to see Mega Evolutions come back, and I really couldn't care less if they brought Z moves. I probably prefer they don't put them in, but I know that a lot of people like them, so it wouldn't really be that big a deal if they left them in. Also, they could put them in. I really don't have too much of an opinion on that. But yeah, that's basically my first impression of the trailer. I guess I hope we get another trailer later down the line. I think they said it's coming out later 2021. And I didn't bring up anything about Arceus Legends quite yet because I haven't quite collected all my thoughts about it because I'm so bugged by the chibi stuff, which really isn't even that big of a deal. It's just kind of a weird step back from where we've been headed graphics was.